what's up?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the program.
The Airtime Podcast is presented by Van Shoes since 1966. 66!
There's nothing fake about it. Have something to believe in and be yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you feel up to it, you can leave me a 5-star review, and that would be greatly appreciated. You could do so right now. You can do it a little bit later. Also, big news, I've started a YouTube channel, everyone. Check that shit out. It's gonna be fire. Right now, it's all the old episodes that are digitally remastered in HD 4K, buffered to perfection. I deleted a bunch of stuff that sucked, and then so everything's just better. So check that out, the YouTube channel, Airtime Podcast. Subscribe, hit the bell, all that jazz. All right, on to today's guest, Parker Zamowski, all the way from Massachusetts, the East Coast flow god. He's been up in so many amazing films over the years, from his first one in Route 9 with his close friends Cole Navin, Barr, and Mike Rav, which was in 2013, and then kind of his breakout part in Rendered Useless. I believe that came out in 2016, that Stark made, and then moving on to Snooze Global, which was an amazing platform for so many young Americans that I think really helped put a lot of kids on the map. Colton Morgan put that together. I think Seamus was one of the main filmers there, who now works for K2, and Parker, every time he had a clip in any of those projects, I was like, I just want to see more of this kid. Filming his global kind of breakthrough part, or however you want to put it, in Vans' Together Forever, Dylan Ojo's last part in there, so all just like an emotional, amazing movie, and Parker has so many phenomenal clips. One in particular that I'd love to shed some light on is his 50-50 on this parkade. Just the way he does that, you can really see his skateboard and even surf influence. I mean, the 50-50 is so skate, and then the landing on it, and then Dylan being in the landing and the editing, and it's just, that clip is a special moment in snowboarding. Another special moment in snowboard history is when Jamie Lynn and Jake Price called Parker, our guest today, to go to Alaska for a month. More recently, Parker has been found opening Vans' new project, Evergreen. Make sure you check that out. An amazing film, as per usual. Vans crushing it. And thank you so much for coming on the show, Parker. Enjoy the show, everyone. Alright, big shout outs to our sponsor Vans, simply the best snowboard boots in the world. The boot we're going to talk about today is the Verse. Brian Iguchi and our guest Parker both are wearing these, featuring the dual BOA, waterproof zipper so your foot stays dry all day, lightweight, heat moldable liner, removable tongue stiffener, and you can check these out on vans.com, vans.ca, or first and foremost, check them out at your local skateboard shop, snowboard shop, as supporting local in these times is crucial. Check them out today. Enjoy the show. Promo. All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. We got the hypest dude on the market, the best of the best. We got Parker Zamowski. Did I say that right?
You did.
Oh, nice. I never nail anybody's last name. I'm pumped.
Yeah. No.
Want to give me a play-by-play on how you would say it, just to make sure that I got it correct?
Zamowski.
Zamowski. I did it.
Yeah, you nailed it.
What's the background on that?
I'm Polish. I don't know. I think I'm majority Polish, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really know my heritage too well. I should study up on it.
Ancestry.com, dude. You get
Right.
They're actually a sponsor of the show, so no, I'm kidding.
All right, plug me in.
I'm Ukrainian. So
Okay.
like Poland, Ukrainian, who knows?
Yeah.
We could be brothers.
Straight up.
Actually, if you look at it just like logically, we actually are brothers, because humans are all connected, believe it or not.
We're all one.
I've read a book.
A couple.
How many books have you written?
Written?
Yeah, written and read.
So many, dude.
Oh, that's amazing.
I've been writing for so long.
Actually?
No, I'm completely kidding.
How many books have you read though?
I don't know.
Like more than 5 or less than 5?
Yeah, probably more than 5. Yeah.
Was one of those books George Orwell's 1984?
You know, I don't know if I ever read that, but I did watch the movie not too long ago.
See, we had to read that book in high school, and that was a very like common book that you had to read. Like similar to like, what book did you have to read in high school? You know what I mean? Everyone had to read that book.
Yeah.
That was our book in Canada. It's like George Orwell's 1984. If you're in grade 10, you have to read that book. If you're in grade 11, Schindler's List.
Whoa.
Yeah. Right? Heavy.
Yeah. I can't really recall what I feel like I had to read like Catcher in the Rye or something.
See, I've never even heard of that one. That's an American book.
Yeah. Yes, so.
What's where did you grow up? Where was home base for you?
I grew up in Byfield, Massachusetts. And then moved to Newburyport, Massachusetts for like middle school through high school.
And Massachusetts is pretty big. It's rectangle in shape, as if I remember correctly.
For the most part.
And you got that East Coast, which you got the surf. And then what's the West look like? Is it all prairie out there? And where would you have been in, were you closer to the surf or were you closer inland?
Yeah, I'm in like the North Shore. So it's right up close to New Hampshire and the ocean. Western Mass is, I'm not very familiar with Western Mass. I think it's like kind of hilly and not very developed. The Berkshires.
Sounds like a good place to go boarding.
Yeah, I think there are some mountains out there. I've never been out there to board, but I kind of grew up going up to New Hampshire to snowboard, and yeah, kind of all over New Hampshire.
What was the home base resort for you? Was it Loon Mountain? I feel like it was.
Yeah, it was. But I started going there in like 8th grade. So before that, I went to just a bunch of different like smaller resorts throughout New Hampshire and Maine, and yeah.
It's smaller than isn't Loon, like to me when I think of like the East Coast, I already think that the resorts there are so small. Like I grew up like not even on a resort. You would call it more of like a hill, Yeah. How many towers did they have on the chairlifts? That's a good way to say if it's like if it's got only like 4 towers, that's a small hill.
I don't know. I mean, the resorts on the East Coast, I think in general are just, smaller than the West Coast. But Loon is like, I'd say like a middle of the road size.
Yeah, I would agree. Middle of the road.
It's got to be at least like 3,000 or 4,000 feet.
Oh, that's enough to get turning.
Yeah.
That's the reason why all you guys are good.
But then there's like a bunch of smaller resorts kind of littered throughout the state in the White Mountains, and yeah.
Well, here's a better question. What's your favorite resort to ride on the East Coast in your kind of zone?
Definitely Loon.
Do you ride for them? Is this like a plug? Do they give you a free pass?
Yeah. They hook it up with a pass, and they have for a long time.
Yeah, Loon.
But yeah, the gondola it's like one of a kind on the East Coast. I feel like maybe Sunday River, I think, has one too, but I don't know. For New Hampshire, it's like the only gondola. And
is it like a tram or is it a Gandhi?
It's like a 4-person gondola. It's pretty sick.
That's dope.
Yeah. And yeah, the park is just outstanding. Yeah, it's like the best park, I'd say. So
well, the best thing about a place like Loon giving you a pass is that Vail never took over. Because when Vail comes, they stop giving the free passes to anybody in the town. It's like, no, buy them. We're done with the free passes.
Yeah.
When a resort still gives out free passes to the local boarders, that's when it's a hill that you should support.
Yeah, for sure. I'm down with that.
Yeah, because we had like all like the goats in Whistler that like really made Whistler what it is. As soon as Vail came in, they're like, nah. Thanks for the 40 years of work on the resort and stuff like that, but we don't give out free passes. It's like, you know, it was a tragedy. So I'm happy to hear that somebody's still dishing out free passes. If you guys are in the area, go check out Loon, the
Yeah.
best park in the world.
Shout out to Jay Manassian,
There you
Brian
go.
Norton.
Are those the dudes who like own the hill, or are those the guys that hook you up with the pass?
Yeah, hook me up with the pass and run the parks and stuff.
Is it like a decade-long free pass you've had, or this is your first year?
Maybe not quite a decade, but
Oof.
a while. Yeah.
So probably when you filmed Route 9, they started hooking you up?
Maybe, yeah, roughly around that time.
Who got you into snowboarding? Was it the older brother, cousin?
I don't remember exactly how I learned about snowboarding because I was so young, but yeah, I don't remember how I originally found out about it because my mom got me on snow skiing when I was 3 or 4. And then I think I was snowboarding by the age 5 or 6.
Wow.
So I got my first snowboard for Christmas, and it was a blue Burton chopper, like probably like a 120 or 130. I do remember it, but yeah, I don't know. It was just so long ago.
The Burton Chopper. I actually remember that board myself because I was that young. I wasn't, okay, you said you started when you were like 6 years old. I started when I was like 12. So you have 6 years on me, dude. 6 years of being on a board. That explains a lot.
Well, I was born in 95, so early 2000s. I was getting into snowboarding.
And at what age were you going into the park and you weren't just playing like tag with your friends?
It's hard to say. My mom worked at maybe like a Montessori school, and they had a after school snowboard program.
Oh,
so
yes.
I wasn't even in the school. I don't know if I was in school yet because I was homeschooling early on, and so my mom would bring me in to go on that. I think that's basically how I like learned how to snowboard after getting like initial beginner lessons. But and then I met Cole St. Martin there. And I feel like that's probably when I got into riding park. I can hardly remember. It was at this small hill in Massachusetts called Bradford, and we'd go night skiing. It was pretty sick.
Big fan of night skiing.
Yeah, night boarding.
Night boarding's the best, dude.
Yeah, it is.
Did you have like a small crew? Like when I think of you and your crew, I throw in like Mike Rav and Cole Naven and you know that and like Nate Carroll and all those people to that group, but I actually don't know if like those are just dudes from far away and then you started filming them when you're 20 years old. Did any of those kids are any of that group like childhood friends of yours?
Yeah, Nate Carroll I started boarding with when I was in like eighth grade or ninth grade, so like 15 or 16 when I started going to Loon.
He's a phenomenal boarder, by the way.
Yeah, one of my favorites. One of my favorites.
Same.
He's the best.
Yeah, his style's so sick.
Yeah, he's the best, dude. Seriously.
Was he always somebody who kind of had it figured out? Because I mean, for such a big guy, him and Cole are great examples of somebody who's like big but is so agile. Like those like frontside hand plant reverts he does and stuff like that are like, what?
Yeah. He's definitely always been super good. When I first started riding with him, I think he was like on the Loon Mountain team, you know, they had like a coach, and I think like a lot of my friends were on that team when I first met them, and I would kind of just tag along and stuff. So
yes, free coaching.
Yeah, for sure. Not quite though. Like I would kind of just like, I would kind of lap behind them. I feel like, I don't know.
I always find this question interesting. Like, what age did you and that crew pull out the camera? You know, were you like 10 years old and one of your homies starts bringing a camera to the hill,
Um,
or are you like 15 and someone finally shows up? Because I mean,
yeah, it was
that's
like,
kind of like a defining moment in like a snowboarder's like career once the
yeah,
camera gets pulled out.
it was like once I started riding at Loon, is definitely when we started making like, or when I started being a part of edits, because the crew of friends that I made there were kind of already filming. And so, yeah, that was my first opportunity to like film in a terrain park. And yeah,
That's the best when you get
kind of where it started.
What was your go-to trick back then? What was your Hail Mary best parker trick back then? You're 12 years old. Were you the front two? Because that was just like the spin, you know what I mean? You either had the cab
Dude.
two, the front two.
I was like a big, like, I really like doing back 180s on, and I for a while was really into like, but like maybe they weren't even like back 180s at first. Maybe I was doing like those like blunt to like switch 50-50 and then like switch.
Yeah.
It would kind of be like I'd like, but then it turned into doing like back 180 like switch ups or something, back 180 into like a 270 switch up to the end of the rail or something.
Yeah, they just keep the butter.
I love doing
butter
rail,
and going.
yeah. I loved going like slow and trying to get tech, I guess.
Yeah, well, I feel like back in the day, it was just like, especially for like that kind of era, it was just combo. Like if you could combo, you know, if you had the back 180 and you could cab 3 out of that thing, you're like, well, why not do a back 180, 270, 270?
That was like the go-to though. More accurately was like the back 1 cab 3 for sure.
Because your first video part with that, I actually don't know if this is your first video part, but I'm assuming it is when you filmed for Route 9, which I actually didn't know about, but I was doing a little bit of homework on you and I found that video and I was like, I gotta watch this.
Yeah.
I think it's from 2013. You, Cole, Barr are in it. You guys are all like 17 years old, and your ender in that is a back 180 switch 50-50 on a triple kink when you were 17.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like the comfortable go-to trick for sure.
It's
back 180.
That's so sick, dude.
Yeah. Still one of my favorites for sure.
It's weird when you unlock a weird trick like that. You know, the back 180 is easy for you. You know, maybe Cole has everyone has their own tricks. Like
sure.
Jake was like really good at switch front blunt 270s. And I was really good at front blunt 270s, but we both weren't good at the other one. You know what I mean? So to you, maybe the back 180 switch 50-50, if it just made sense when you saw that kink, you're like, yeah, I'm going to back 180 switch 50-50 that thing.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
Most, they would taco and get really hurt.
Exactly.
But, oh man. Was that the video then that like kind of drew you to want to snowboard to now? When you filmed that, were you like, I'm going to be in the future a snowboard guy? Or were you still thinking, I'm going to do this, I'm 17 and I'm going to go to school?
Yeah, I don't know if that was like the turning point in that dream. I think I maybe like had already like kind of wanted to snowboard for the rest of my life before that. So
sick.
But that was definitely that I think at the time I was just like trying to meet other people that wanted to snowboard as bad as I did. So it was really, really cool.
What would have been the video then when you were like, you know, you started snowboarding at a really young age? You said, you know, 6 years old, you started snowboarding, you know, 12 years old, you started pulling out the cam. At 17, you're filming full length video parts. Was there like a video that you're like, I'm obsessed with snowboarding because of this video, these magazines? Or is it just more of like, you know, your group of friends that just kind of made it fun that made you want to do it?
Yeah, it was, I don't remember watching like all that many video parts. I had some family friends though that snowboarded that I would go stay up at their condo and stuff and like ride with, and they would definitely expose me to some stuff. I feel like grenade videos and stuff, but I didn't really like absorb it that much at the time, I feel like, until I started going to Loon, and my buddy's family would drive me up every weekend. Like I'd carpool with them, and they had like a DVD player in the minivan. And,
what luxury.
And, so my friend Robert Connors just like had all these DVDs like a lot of early think tank videos and forum videos. So yeah,
Throw those on en route to the hill.
yeah, or like, it was like a 2-hour drive up to where the mountain was, and they had a condo like across the street from the mountain. So it was just like watching those on the way up, and then and then
What was
like while
that?
we're up there.
What was that one think tank movie with the birds? It was like I always forget it. There's
With
like
the
a
birds.
think tank, and it's like something with birds.
I
They
don't
had
know.
like I forget, and it was one of the older ones. I just remember I think it was their second video, and I just remember Sean Genevieve's had like the sickest part.
Yeah.
She had this
Those
dopest
movies are
style.
all so sick. The early ones were definitely really inspiring, like Thanks Brain
Yeah,
and
that
Stack
was a good
City.
one. Yeah, Thanks Brain was super stee. They
Yeah.
were all kind of just doing their own thing too. Like when there was kind of like a set formula for snowboard videos back then. And
Yeah.
then Think Tank just came out and they're like, we're not going to do that. we're just going to do this.
For sure. Yeah. And like every Scott Stevens part was just like mind blowing at the time. Like
I mean, it's
still
kind of
is.
annoying you watch him snowboard live and it's like, how are you so talented? And then you watch his video parts and it's just like, nothing makes sense. It's just like, how do
Yeah.
you do that? Like
The most creative dude.
I mean, even watching him on his trampoline, I'm like, really, buddy? Triple laser flip, last minute shove it. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, that guy would be the worst best friend like to grow up snowboarding with, because you would be like, I learned half cab 5.0s today. You'd be like, I learned half cab 5.0 back 360s and front threes and 5 other tricks.
Yeah, seriously. Feels like he can do like every single 180 on, like 360 out, like spin on, spin off combo possible.
Were you the guy that just had it all figured out immediately, or did you have to like work hard and slam to learn new tricks, or was it like pretty easy for you?
I don't know. Like some stuff comes naturally, I feel like, but definitely have to work hard for a lot of the stuff that I do, I feel like, for sure.
Well, filming, but I mean, the few times
Yeah.
I've been with you, it seems like when you're riding like a quarter pipe or a hip, it seems like if you could like see it, you do it. Because I mean, I didn't see you fall very much on that trip, and I remember a few times I was caught upside down in the air, and I was like, "Damn it, not again!"
I was eating shit on the quarter pipe for sure. I don't think I was snowboarding that good that day, but at the quarter pipe camp out. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I don't know, different days, you feel better than others on the board. Some
I
days
love.
everything's just like feeling really fluid and you're like feel attached to your snowboard, and some days not so much.
I know, but some people are just like able to send it all the time and be good all the time, and I'm just like not one of. I'm like, some days I feel like sending it, and it's like I feel like my special meter is full and I can do anything I want, and then some days I'm like, I'm just gonna just head down to the parking lot. Like I'm feeling stiff and sore. Maybe it's just because I'm a little bit older, but like I feel like now you have like days where you can like fully send, and days that you need to be like, don't even get mad at yourself. It's similar to skateboarding. You go to the skate park, and I don't skate that much anymore, but when I used to, it was like some days you just have a terrible day. You're like, you roll in and do a 50-50 first, and your trucks don't lock, and then you land on your hip at your first second at the park. You're like, I'm just gonna go home.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, no, I think that's got to be for everybody, to some degree. Everybody has a bad day.
Except for Scott Stevens. Every day is a bad day for everybody except for Scott Stevens. The guy's absolutely incredible, and we're very envious of his talent. And then you can throw out another. I've seen Jed snowboard a few times too, and you're like, do you have to try? Like, is that like a thing? Like, it seems like he has so much explosive late energy. If he's going to go backlip a kink, it's first thing in the morning. It's all there. Like his muscle and his mind are all just connected. Where mine, they're not on the same wavelength sometimes. And then if I just go for the backlip first thing, it's like, I need to do the back 50 first.
Yep. Yeah. You got to warm up. I feel that.
So when was the first time you had ventured out to the West? I mean, you're obviously from the East, but I mean, I feel like at one point you go to High Cascade and you start working there, You know, you
Mhm.
meet a bunch of people and you kind of lay your foundation for what would be, years to come.
Yeah. I don't know. The first time I went to High Cascade, when I was a camper, I like won a session from a contest at Loon.
Whoa, let's
And
talk about
then
that.
um
That's a big W.
yeah, I don't think I won the contest. It was it was a contest on like each feature, I think, and each feature had like a prize, maybe.
And that's a pretty
So I
sick purse
so they had like a High Cascade rail there, and so I was like kind of gunning for that because I
because
knew
you're
the
a kid.
I knew the prize, yeah. So that was my first time to High Cascade, and I remember after going there, I was like, "Oh my God, like I have to work here." But then I didn't end up working there for another couple years, but I did end up coaching there for one summer.
And so you get to go, you win. What was the trick you won with? Did you just go full ham or was it like a sesh? You don't even
Uh,
remember, do you?
I do remember the rail. The rail was like it was like a pretty fat tube, and it had like a pole jam onto it, if I remember correctly. So like a little like pole jam down rail, but you could also just hit it from the side. So I don't know. If I could imagine, I probably did some sort of variation of a backside 180.
That back 180 just pulling through again.
Yeah, or yeah, like probably some sort of pole jam back 180 or like pole jam front 270. Maybe it was just like a jam on the feature, I think, and like whoever just like did a bunch of tricks, got it.
And so going to High Cascade, what was that like? I mean, that must have been amazing. What was that like for you?
Yeah, it was pretty mind blowing. I don't know. It just like seemed like a paradise, like a summer paradise for sure.
You remember any of the pros that were there at the time? I feel like they would have been pretty. Back then, there was enough budget and stuff like that. That High Cascade, like everybody was there in the summer. So if you're a young
Yeah,
kid, you show up there and it's like every one of your dream pros is just hanging out there, and you're like, "What? This is real?"
yeah. I'm not sure if I recall any of the people. I don't even remember who my coach was. I do remember my counselors, but yeah, I don't know.
That's so sick,
I
dude. That
actually
you.
don't know. Like I kind of just remember like meeting like that coach Dave Reynolds somehow or something. And I feel like I don't even know. I could be like mixing it up with a later time that I just went to visit. Yeah, because I before I worked there, like after I went to camp there, I think maybe the summer after, like 2 summers after, I just started going there every summer to board, for like 2 weeks or so. So that's when I like started to pick up on like who was a pro boarder and like I like know the scene a little bit more. But I think when I went there when I was 15, like I didn't really, I don't think I really know who too many people were. Like,
That's sick. That's
uh,
dope.
yeah.
When I went to
Oh
camp, I
wait,
was
no,
already
my
obsessed.
my coach was Blaze Kotzenberg.
What?
I forget. Wait, I don't know if he was my coach, but I remember him. He taught me how to do back fives with like an indie grab.
And that's Sage's brother?
Yeah, Blaze is the
What?
man. Yeah,
I don't know Blaze at all. He's never been around for any
yeah,
of the events I've been to.
he's the man. I think he lives in Utah,
Is he
but
older or younger?
he's older, I believe.
I can tell you the
But
day that I learned back five indie grabs. I'll always remember that. We was at this hill called Assissippi, and I was on a JP Walker forum board with a pink base with Jake, and he was filming, and he was like, "Dude, just try the back five," and I just Hail Mary dunked one, and I was just like, "Woo!" It's on video somewhere. I could show you
sick.
it one day, but the back five indie is a nice one, dude. That's a beautiful trick. I actually been trying to film with one of those for a while.
Yeah, yeah, same. I would love to. I would never really do them too often, I guess.
Well, you're more of like a street boarder, but let's be honest, you've kind of been around the map doing a little bit of everything.
Yeah, trying to get around.
Yeah, you've
on a
been getting
snowboard.
around. What's your what's your breakdown for how you got your first sponsor? Was it Eastern Border?
Um, I don't think it was Eastern Border or yeah, no, that's the first sponsor I think I like went out like out of my way to try and get. Like I like brought a sponsor tape into the shop.
Yes. I love
And
those stories.
yeah, it was after riding at Loon for maybe my first or second winter. And like I said, we had like my friends that I met there were filming, and so I just had like a season edit. And my buddy Robert Connors, who I would go stay with every weekend, and like I basically like followed him around. He was already sponsored by Eastern Border or on the team, and had like a Nitro Flow sponsorship, and so he was like already doing shit, and that definitely like inspired me to try and get sponsored myself.
Because Eastern Border is like the shit back home. That's the reason why I asked. It's like, was your first sponsor Eastern Border? I just asked that because I feel like a lot of East Coast kids, that is, or at least they wanted it to be. Because I mean, I don't know a lot about that shop, but is it like, is that shop like the shit, super legit? Like, give us a little bit of deets on that.
Yeah, so there, when I was growing up, there was maybe one skate shop in my town, but it went out of business. And so the closest one was Eastern Border in Danvers. Or there might have been like a bike shop that also did skateboards, but it was like kind of kooky. So never really went there. And yeah, so Eastern Border was like half an hour away. And I forget how I found out about it, but that's like where I would buy all my like skate shoes and skate supplies and everything.
Dude, that's a special moment when you find a shop that you really like as a kid. Just like going in there and then building a relationship with a few of the staff members. And then the one day you come in there, at least for me, and they knew my name and they were like, Jody, what's up? And I was like, it happened. The skate shop people know who I am.
Yeah.
And like, I just bought like a pair of like $150, like, you know, I don't even remember, Josh Casper Osiris's, and they're like, gave me a free Osiris sticker. And I'm like, this is the best day ever.
Yeah. I definitely have like vivid memories going in there and just like thinking the music was so sick, and just like, the whole shop was like organized, like looked so cool and shit. And yeah, obviously like my mom was like driving me down and just being like embarrassed that my mom was like with me and shit. It's just so funny.
That's the best. That like, I'd be like, I almost want my mom to wait inside the car. I'd be like, Mom, you're cramping my style. Like, you know, that I want to go in there and just look like I just drove my car there. Not like my mom and her Toyota Corolla just like waiting outside with that's a good look.
It's funny to look back or like think back on just like, I don't know. I like how like much just like absorbing from those environments, and I'm glad that like it existed, because I feel like I learned a lot from going in there and like watching whatever they had on the TV and like just lurking around. But
yeah, your mind's like a sponge.
Yeah.
You're just a kid that, I mean, at 15 or whatever, you don't really know what you want to be, except for, oh no, sorry, maybe younger. But when you identify with snowboarding and skateboarding, that culture just overwhelms your mind. At least it did for me. And I was like, this is all I want in my life, is snowboarding and skateboarding. And it's all I want to be around. It's like, if people like that, I immediately want to hang out with them.
Yeah.
And if you didn't, it was just like, you just weren't in my circle anymore. Like I couldn't even hang out with my friends who didn't do it anymore. I was just, because all I was doing was those things. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I hear you for sure. That's that's what happened when I started going to Loon. It was just like I did that every single weekend from like the first time I went. And I was just like, this is what I have to do. That's like all I thought about all week, you know, at school and shit.
Let's hope that kids keep going to these skate shops and these snowboard shops and the surf shops and keep supporting them and stuff like that, because it'll be a sad day when everybody's ordering their shoes and their t-shirts and their videos online and no one's even going into them anymore. I mean, there's such a vibe that a good skate shop brings. And it really helps a lot of kids. Like, I mean, any kid who's ever been through any type of shit too. It's like, there's always like the kids who just like, they don't have a place to go, and a skate shop's like a home. Like
Yeah,
I have lots of friends who like lived at the skate shops. One of my good friends back home owns a skate shop, and he's just like, yeah, certain kids, they don't have anywhere to go except for the skate park and the skate shop. And that's like where they live.
Yeah, for sure. I always wished that there was a skate shop like that in our town. I guess there might have been, like I said, there was one when I was younger, but it definitely closed. But grateful to have like Eastern Border within like, a short drive, and yeah, skate shops are crucial.
Dude, so Eastern Border, do you still ride for them?
Yeah.
Sick. That's dope. Because I always see like, Harry, even Kuzik has an Eastern Borders sweater that he always wears. I mean, Pat Moore, there's the people that I see just with that logo. And I mean, like, if I should buy one right now, I should go buy an Eastern Border hoodie. Because like that shop is clearly the best.
Yeah,
everyone that's dope from the East reps it. So yeah, shout outs to them. Like for no other reason, but if you live on the East Coast, do they have more than one location?
They do. They have Nashua, New Hampshire one, and Worcester, Massachusetts one.
Yeah, success.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
they used to have like 5. So I think in the past like 5 years or so, a couple have closed.
They've downsized.
But they're still running.
Yeah, they're downsizing so that they can focus all their energies on those 2 shops, so they can deliver the best experience possible to their customers.
That's right. Exactly.
All right. So do you remember the first sponsor? You said you brought your tape to the shop. Did you get anything from dropping off that demo tape? Did anything come of it, or was it crickets? And you're like, damn, nobody cares about my back 180s. This sucks.
Yeah. I forget like what the immediate response was, but I think we like watched it on the TV at the shop.
Yes,
and
they put that's a high right there too. They throw your tape in at the shop and play it. Sick.
And I don't know. Maybe they said, I don't know what they said, but I did end up like getting some like clothes and stickers from them, and ever since.
I mean, that's a sick plug right there. Big shout outs to Eastern Border. Because I was speaking with both of our team manager, Tom, at K2 Snowboarding, and he mentioned that you were, before he even sent you any boards or anything like that you were, getting some K2 boards from a rep maybe in your neighborhood. Like, how long have you been on K2 boards for?
Yeah. So I think it all happened around within like 2 years, like getting on Eastern Border, or like getting flowed like, stickers and hoodies, and like maybe that same winter I started getting Volcom stuff and K2 stuff, I think. Like,
nice.
And that kind of came out of just doing local contests. I feel like at Waterville and Loon, and that's how I met Tommy J. He was like, I want to say he was announcing a contest at Waterville maybe, or like he might have worked for Eastern Border or something. He was always around anyways at those contests. So, which I feel like there was so many. There was like a contest every other weekend, I felt like, growing up.
Who was the kid taking all the W's back then? Whose jersey was hanging in the rafter? Like, oh, there's that kid. He's winning again. Shit.
For like the 15 and under age, I think that was the age, or maybe it was 16. It was always my buddy Robert Connors, who basically got me into going to contests and stuff. And
he was just sweeping them.
He would sweep everything. He'd just always be scheming. Like, he'd have all this gear that you'd win, and then he'd go to a shop in Lincoln, the town where Loon is, and like swap it out at the local snowboard shop for like other gear that he was feeling.
Oh, he had like a little side hustle going. He's just like, you win all this stuff and then you take it and you actually get the shit you like.
Yeah. Which he had it figured out.
That's funny that he does that, because that's our biggest nightmare back where I'm from. Is like I have a small little event, and I get all my sponsors to send me a box for all the kids, and all these kids participate. And then they go to all the local shops after, and they're like, "Oh, Jody gave me a size 9 pair of shoes. I'm actually an 8.5." And the skate shop's like, "Well, we have nothing to do with this. Like,
Yeah.
we carry Vans, but like we can't just swap it out." But
Yeah.
that kid was
I mean,
crushing it.
they would usually be pretty down. It was definitely like, yeah, a loophole he figured out. It's like, get some gear.
Yeah, my homie Walker's gonna listen to this for sure. That's the same guy who owns that skate shop. And yeah, if you're a kid and you've ever won any of my stuff, please do not take it to a shop and try to exchange it. I actually don't like this red t-shirt. Can I exchange it for a black one that's not even the same brand? He's like, "No, you can't do that."
Yeah, maybe the shop got like over it at some point, I forget, but he definitely was sweeping up all the contests like when he was under 15.
And then,
It
who is
pretty
that?
crazy.
Transferring into the older group, did you keep riding contests once you started filming? Route 9 ends. Did you kind of go like, "I don't care about contests anymore," or like,
I think
did
I
you
was
keep
still
hustling?
doing some contests. I was never doing like USASA contests. I was just doing like the regional rail jams, and like they would have like the Trans World Trans Am,
Oh
and like
yeah.
Volcom PB&J Rail Jam, and like Back to the Boneyard, Last Call, and like I don't know, a slew of contests like at multiple different resorts. So it was pretty fun.
I mean, you said you mentioned the Volcom thing there, which I actually want to touch base on, because I mean, you're not riding for Volcom anymore.
No.
Which is, to me, I don't know what happened there, because you were on, like you said, you were on K2 and Volcom. Those were your starters, and you've evolved in such a like a unique, sick snowboarder. And obviously, you have companies like K2 and Vans and Howell and Eastern Border that have always seen the progression that they wanted to be a part of. To call them out, I think they were sleeping, dude. Volcom, you fucked up. Like that was
Yeah.
I don't love Volcom. Like when I was a kid, I kind of liked them, but then I kind of grew out of like their image. And I felt like you were such a good piece to make that brand like what it needed to be. I mean, I love Rav and Arthur,
Yeah.
and like and their team is still sick, but I just felt that they really missed the boat on that one.
Yeah, no, all was good. That was super fun getting to meet and ride with all those guys. But yeah.
Like,
you
who
know,
was your team
just-
at? Was it Seth Hewitt just sleeping on you?
Well, I was just like a flow kid basically for the whole time, and then just started getting flowed from the team managers, which was like at the time Pat Barraza and Jeff Covington. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, over the last like decade, you film all this stuff with like Snooze Global and, Together Forever, and like all this amazing footage comes out of you, and you have the Volcom logo on your board, and it's just like, you're like, I'm watching this footage. And when your footage goes from being like young kid footage, Route 99 or whatever, Route 9, and then, Rendered Useless comes out. And then anything after that video part to me was gold. Like you don't have little kid style anymore. You have your own shit going on. It's like, even I was like, if I was a brand, if Jody was a brand, I would have been like, "I'm sponsoring this kid. He's on me."
Hey, thank you, dude. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, whatever. We don't need to dive into it, but were you a little bit disappointed when it didn't work out?
Yeah, definitely. Like it didn't feel um, like a life altering decision, but it definitely was like, I was like not psyched to have to, not ride for them because, I think just growing up, I really was a fan of the brand. And so like to get the opportunity to get even just like free gear from them and get to meet most of the people on the team and whatnot was like I was so psyched to even be that much a part of it. So yeah, I was bummed, but I don't know, it happens. So I like at a certain point I just like realized that it would be best to like try and find good opportunities elsewhere, and if they were available, take them.
And I mean, Van stepped in and they just did head to toe with you. And I mean, that look is phenomenal. So way to go.
Hell yeah, thank you. Yeah.
That fit really good. High Cascade, though, I kind of do want to touch base on that a little bit more, just because I feel like that we had COC. High Cascade was your guys' thing. You said that you were a coach there and stuff like that for a season. What was it like to coach kids?
It was pretty cool. I like did some skateboarding lessons growing up at like my local skate park, so I kind of knew the gist of it, but it was mellow. I don't know, the kids were cool. I guess like the worst case scenario is just getting like a bratty kid that like doesn't want to be there.
Oh,
So
that's the worst.
I figured as long as they all wanted to be there, which they did, you know, it was all I could do was, you know, like answer their questions and try and do my best to like give them good examples of how to do the tricks they wanted to do. And yeah, it was pretty cool.
Would you coach again, or are you done with that phase in your life?
I think I'm pretty done. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe if it came down to it, I don't know.
I just think that you'd be a sick coach, dude. And it's crazy how much of an impact that has on those kids' lives. Like some of them you probably don't even remember, but I had 2 kids come up to me in Whistler the other day and they're like, "You coached me in like 2009 or something like that. You were the best coach." And I was like, I feel so bad I don't remember you, but you need to know that 10 years ago you look a different person completely.
Yeah. No, yeah, that I've definitely like feel like I followed at least like a handful of the kids that I've coached in the past, and like kind of kept in touch with some of them. It's pretty cool, you know.
Yeah,
Like
dude,
to see that kids are like still snowboarding after, you know, they just went to a camp at like a pretty young age and they're still sticking with it.
Is there anybody that you still like, you know, kept in touch with, or has maybe taken snowboarding to like a new level and is like a sponsored snowboarder now or anything like that?
Yeah, kind of. I did, you know how High Cascade did, I don't know if you'd know this, but they did kind of like some satellite camps, I guess you could call it. Like they did a camp at Loon one winter.
Cool.
Yeah, because they were doing winter camps and they were doing them in different locations around the country, I think. So yeah, I coached for them for that, and that was like maybe a week of coaching or something. And I think in my group was like, if I remember correctly, it was like Tommy Towns,
Wow,
maybe Nick Erickson, and like
sick.
Flag, and maybe Eli as well. Yeah, just like a group of like young kids that I already was familiar seeing around Loon, and
those kids are all really sick.
And now they're all like so into it, and so even that's cool to see. Even though I knew that they were already all like pretty into snowboarding, but to see them like dedicate that much time and energy to it and like still be doing it's pretty cool.
I definitely have a handful of kids that have taken it, like Nick Elliott, he rides for Ride and Vans now in Canada, and Cody 69, who rides for like Dino and Salmon Arms. Like those 2 are like my campers, and like it's so sick to see like them. It's really rad when they tell me stories about myself coaching them back then, and I'm like, I don't really remember it that much, but like to them it was like super like important, and it's pretty cool to see those kids like evolve into the riders that they have become now. And to touch base on that Nick Erickson kid, we went on a K2 trip. He also rides for K2. Holy shit, that kid is good. He was jumping on some big pieces of steel. Like
he likes to hunt down the big ones.
We hit, there was like 100. It's the biggest kink in the world. Yeah, believe it or not. I would love to share a photo, but he literally told me after the session to never post a photo of it because he wants to go back. And it's like a 60 stair down rail and then like 10 kinks and then like a flat. And he tried to board slide it. And I remember watching it. I was there with Mark Wilson and I don't know, Seamus and a handful of other people. And we're watching him try this. And he's like 18 years, maybe 17 years old. And it's the biggest rail I've ever seen anyone jump on. And I kind of turned into parent mode. I was like, do I tell this kid he can't hit this rail? Because if he comes out early, it's a tight staircase. He's going to be coming out 1,000 kilometers an hour into all those posts, and he's not going to be able to carve. And I'm watching him try this. I'm like, I should fucking say something. And then sure enough, he comes off in the stairs. He's going 100 kilometers an hour straight into a post, hits his head, blood everywhere. I'm like,
fuck.
oh my fucking God. Like, I'm like, I just killed this kid by not saying anything. We take him to the hospital. He gets like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 stitches. We have to talk to his mom on the phone, send him home. I was like, at what point do you have an obligation for being the oldest person there? If this kid's trying the gnarliest thing ever, to be like, yo, might not be worth it. Although, how do you tell somebody that?
Well, maybe it was a good learning experience. I don't know.
I don't know.
I wasn't there, but maybe he learned something from that.
I have anxiety to this day.
No,
like,
he's always stepping on the biggest kink rails.
Dude, he's fearless.
It's insane. Yeah, it's impressive for sure.
And he doesn't look like somebody who's like fearless. You know what I mean? He's like the biggest chiller in the world. Oh, what? Your roommate just delivered you a beer? Oh shit. Who's your roommate?
Blake.
Blake?
Blake Paul.
No.
Yeah.
What? What a legend.
Yeah. Good man.
Yeah. Are you staying at his house?
I'm living here.
Oh wow. Where are you right now?
Salt Lake.
Oh shit. He's got a place in Salt Lake City?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Does he own it?
Does. Yeah.
What a boss.
He does, yeah.
Do you like your room?
Yeah, it's dope.
Is he free rent?
No. I wish.
Come on, Blake. Hook him up, dude.
He's got a mortgage to pay.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Are you happy with your rate he's giving you?
Yeah, it's fair.
Sick.
Yeah.
Are you guys, is the dynamic in your place, is it Steve? Are you happy with it?
Yeah. Nick Baden also lives here.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
That's a good vibe.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of all of those boarders. You guys should make a move. You guys should make a movie. You got everybody right there.
Yeah.
How's everyone's season going? Everybody in good vibes there? I mean, I feel like Nick Baden's out filming with Jed right now. I heard that. That's pretty cool.
Yep, they're all like staying at the house right now.
Oh, sick. You got a fucking party going on.
Yeah, no, they're up at Woodward right now. So yeah.
And the FOMO, I mean, we talked about this before we started recording, but you have a little bit of an injury that you're nursing right now, and you'll be back to it. How did that all happen?
Well, there was in February, there was a storm that was gonna give Portland a lot of snow, Portland, Oregon. So I decided to fly up there and try and catch that for like the couple days that it would last. And I don't know, the day I got there, it was like still snowing and windy and shit. And we tried to hit this spot and I ended up falling pretty hard. Tried to like do a front lip on this down rail with a kink at the end and pinged on it. It was kind of a skinny stair set, so I was kind of like trying to go kind of fast and just like
not come off in the stairs.
Yeah, not come off in the stairs and like just, I don't know, do it smooth and just pinged like harder than I ever have and like kind of like almost like hand slid down the rail and then like hit the kink on the end with my pelvis.
Did you know when it happened that this isn't going to be good?
Yeah, generally it was, I want to say it was like one of the most painful falls I've ever had.
Whoa.
For sure. It was really painful. Yeah, I like couldn't really catch my breath and couldn't walk. So kind of just got like assisted to the car and then went back to Cole Navin's house, ate some food, and then decided to go to the hospital.
And who was the crew there? You, Cole, Harry?
Me, Cole, John Stark, and Mark O'Malley.
Oh.
But actually at the spot, it was just me, John, and Mark.
Oh, dude, that sucks. What the front lip slide tink? Have you hit it a few times and then you were really focused on trying to make it to the end? I feel like whenever I'm
Yeah.
sessioning a lip slide, at one point, if I'm sessioning it for too long, I forget about the initial pop and I'm so focused on those last fundamentals to make it to the end.
Exactly.
And that's the biggest
It
fuck
was
up with the front
it
lip.
was like a really short rail. It was probably like a 16 stair, and it was like a 16 stair, and then land, and then within like 10 feet or 15 feet, gap to another similar 16 stair with a flat on the end of it.
Whoa, tech.
So I like did one. I like did like a front lip and then gap to board slide. And then I was like, oh, it'd be sick to do front lip, fakie, gap to switch front lip, just like
Oh, yeah, it would be though.
yeah, just biting off
Yeah.
more than I could chew. It was like, not that I don't think I could have done it, but it was like 4 or like 5 in the evening, and so it was like getting dark, and it was like windy and snowy, and I was just, I don't know.
You got juiced.
In hindsight, I could have just like hit it the next day, and it probably would have gone better, maybe.
I feel like that's like,
Who
yeah.
knows? Who knows? Though?
Hindsight's a bitch, though. You're
Yeah,
like,
it
oh,
is. Yeah. No, I'm looking forward with optimism rather than looking back with regret.
yeah. What's the easiest way for you to get like? Do you just spend your time thinking about like, well, it could have been worse? I feel like that's the best way. Whenever I get hurt, I'm like,
Yeah.
well, it could have been worse.
Yeah. Basically, I don't know. I just
It's the best way to wrap around.
trying to keep my mind off it. I went down to Costa Rica. And
I saw that.
visited my family and who lives down there, and that was a pretty good way to not get FOMO from people snowboarding.
Well, I mean, that's the best way to do it. The shitty thing is we didn't touch base on it, but you're a phenomenal surfer. It must have, was the wave shitty there, or were you being
Yeah,
like, damn it, now there's the surf smashing me in the face?
They live kind of on like the inland side of a gulf, so they do get waves there, but it wasn't like crazy good.
There wasn't glass barrels that are just staring at you at the face. You're like, I don't even gotta look.
No.
It's all good.
And my aunt and uncle are still like kind of they're pretty COVID cautious, and rightfully so. They're just, they're in their like 60s and
Yeah,
70s,
totally.
so they're chilling at their homestead pretty tough.
That's nice, dude. Just
Yeah.
somewhere relaxing. That's a nice like a rehab place for you with an
Yeah.
injury.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
My favorite thing is to not be around snowboarding when I'm injured. So, I mean, living at a place with Blake Paul, Nick Baden, and Jed Anderson must be kind of like, yeah, everyone's talking about their days, and you're like, yeah, just chilling here.
Yeah, exactly. I figured for the, and it turned out that when I left, like it was just snowing so much at home, like in Salt Lake. So I think it was best.
Yeah.
I would have gone insane, but that's not the only reason. I was just taking advantage of my time off, and had been meaning to go down to Costa Rica and visit my aunt and uncle. So
I mean,
this
you
all
haven't
lined up.
been injured for a while, though, if I'm correct. I feel like you had a pretty good spree of like full video parts, no injury, like solid season after pretty solid season. Like, when's the last time that you got beamed?
Probably just like when I got shoulder surgery was the last time I was out for a while, but that was in the summer. So
Oh, nice. That's
or like
that's
late summer. So I missed like the beginning of the year in 2018. But yeah, that was probably the last.
what 2018, would that have been together forever then?
Mm-hmm.
That was a sick, that to me, that was like, you had a lot of footage come out that was awesome before, but that one like put you on the map as a global awesome superstar with incredible style, like the best. Like those clips that you filmed in that movie, the front 50-50 on the coping on that like parkade is like one of my favorite clips ever, especially with the Dylan Ojo vibe on the landing. Like does it, like that's one of the most iconic clips. Like, oh, that, and the photo too, it was just
Yeah.
like a perfect spot.
Thank you, dude. Thank you. That was a special day for sure.
What
It
was
was
it
awesome.
like to, it'd be rude or shitty to not talk about one of my favorite snowboarders that I never got to film with that much, but got to enjoy a lot of his time at summer camps. Dylan, what was it like to film with him and, you know, have that season with him and be in the streets with one of the best?
Yeah, it was so cool. He's the best. I don't know, it was surreal kind of. I didn't really get to know him like as well as I feel like I wished I had. Just, you know, I went on a couple trips with him. And he just had the best energy, and, you know, always just like cracking jokes and playing good music, and I don't know, bringing light to the situations that we were in, and just hitting the gnarliest spots. Like it was so cool to hit some spots with him, or more so just, you know, see the spots that he wanted to hit, and like that process of him picking and choosing a spot and picking a trick to do. And yeah, it was amazing.
He has a very special way of escaping death on every, like, he'll hit the gnarliest spot ever and he'll just somehow just make it out alive and then do the trick. But it's never like looks like he's sketchy, you know, like full hazard mode. He has like an ability to safely avoid like the post that you have to avoid, or like, you know, you can't go left, and every time he's kind of going left, but he just avoids that one thing. And it was, yeah, what a special human. Like, yeah, wow. I'm envious you got to spend some filming. I always wanted to film with him, and I saw him that the year before he passed at a Vans thing up in Whistler, and I was like, dude, we got to film like a clip together. And he's like, let's do it, because I'm like, kind of homies with some of his friends from the East Coast, the Bruners and stuff like that. And so I always wanted to just go out with like that, his original like friend group that like are and film a clip with Dylan, and never got to do it, man.
Just had the best energy.
And like you said about the music thing too, dude, is like his taste in life and the way that he would just go through life was just something that I feel like anyone who ever met him was attracted to. It was just like, this guy's the best.
Yeah, and just like super open-minded and open to, you know, everybody. It was he's awesome.
Yeah, not judgmental, you know what I mean? He's somebody that's just like, whatever anyone's doing, it doesn't bother him. You know what I mean? Like, you want to dress like that, you want to be like that. I mean, even for like Jake, who was really close with Dylan, to like be able to be comfortable enough to be like, oh, like, you know, I don't care about people being gay or trans or whatever, you know, like none of that stuff bugs me, or it's not even like, he was just so open to everything that was new. He was just ahead of the curve in like every aspect in life.
Yeah, and he wanted to like use his reach and like his skills for all the right reasons, and like start like a nonprofit, or like the foundation that he started before he passed away is just like so well intentioned to give back to his community. And I know he like did a lot of DJing and like just wanted to like get a lot of people together in that way, and and like a good environment. And it's just like, I feel like had such a positive manner, you know.
Just through and through.
Yeah, for sure.
What a special clip though, that to bring it back to that 50-50 on that coping, you know, Dylan's on the landing, those vibes in that clip are so good. Like, we talk about it all the time on the podcast, the vibes, dude. And the vibe that, I mean, Tanner did such a good job of editing that movie to have a very, you know, you watch that and you get tingles, or you get the chills watching that movie because of how he edited it. But like, wow, the vibes that crew, Vans in particular, such like a tight niche family. Something cool to be a part of.
I mean,
for sure.
that day was actually like so funny. It was so sick. I think it was a Friday and we were in Finland. I forget which town we were in. I don't think we were in Helsinki. We went to a couple different towns that year, and Jake hit a spot in the morning, and I think I had stayed out rather late the night before and was feeling pretty loose, and I like had tried to hit Jake's spot, and it was that spot where he does a nose slide pretzel, and it's a rail drop to a ledge, and then like a banked landing.
Yeah, I know the exact. He had an ad
And
on it.
he also backlipped it.
Yeah, the backlip's
Yeah.
insane.
So he like went the night before and like prepped up the ledge, made it all nice, and it was like pretty slick. And I remember I was just like, like just wanted to get a clip, but was like pretty, probably still intoxicated. And I tried to just do like a 50-50 front three and like 50-50 and then dropped onto the ledge and just like slipped out from the ice and did like a saucer spin. And like everybody was just like laughing so hard, and like it was just such a funny session for me. And Jake just like nailed his 2 tricks like better than you could ever imagine. And like and then after he was done, they're just like, "Oh, Parker, that like parking garage thing's right around the corner." Like, and I was like, "Oh yeah, let's go hit it for sure."
Yeah, like I am the perfect setting for this.
Yeah, I was like, I'm feeling pretty good now. And yeah, like I said, I think it was a Friday, and it must have been by like a bunch of dorms or something. And I remember we pulled up to the top of the parking garage, and like Dylan and I like had a beer maybe or something, or maybe I think like Harry like filmed Dylan shotgunning a beer. I think we both shotgunned a beer right before I started snowboarding, and some girls were like shouting out of their like dorm window. Like, I don't know. It's like a crazy, I remember that day so well. And it was, it's just a great memory of Dylan. He like made a little edit of me hitting the wall when I was like going lower on it. And it was just like a sick natural speed spot and like beautiful sunset. And it was a good day.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Everything you said there. What a perfect day. I love the Jake, and then Jake does his trick absolutely perfect. And it's just like back to like the Scott Stevens thing. Felt like being young and filming with him was frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah, filming with Jake is so sick. Seeing his process and just the quality of like his snowboarding is just so impressive.
all right, Van's trip, you're going, let's say hypothetically, you get to bring 3 other Vans riders. Who are your closest guys that you would go on a trip with, that you would excel with? Who would you go?
It depends where we're going.
Rail spots in Finland.
Rail spots in Finland. I'd probably go with like, well, I went there. I would probably go with like Cole and Mike and Sam, I guess. Just like, cause I've been on rail trips with them. And
Are those your is Cole kind of a childhood friend, or just more of just like a filming friend?
From Stumped and stuff. It's kind of when we started, or like when we first hung out within like that year or so. So but yeah, so we've just been good homies since then.
Your whole homie group is just like all turned out to just be the most phenomenal snowboarders, eh? And just like unintentionally, all of you guys just turned out to be incredible. You surround yourself with people, and you're the average of your 5 best friends, and whew, yeah, that's what happened to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely try and surround yourself with good people, good friends.
I mean, what a motivation to like, or not a motivation, what a exciting thing to watch, Rav and Cole and those people that you filmed with for so long, and even yourself. I mean, I'm sure to them, but you see, you guys all just blossomed into these incredible snowboarders who all have your own unique style, but you guys got to watch like all your careers develop, like, and to be able to film with those people is something so special. Like, I didn't get to film with Jake very much, over the last like 6 or 7 years. I always wish I got to, but like for you've literally witnessed like, Cole and Rav and all those people, like a lot of their best footage firsthand.
Yeah, it's definitely a trip to like be flipping through the magazines and stuff these days, and just the snowboard content that comes out. And a lot of the main people are like good homies. So
yeah,
it's cool to see.
I mean, even like people like Stark and Ian Bull who start Torment Mag, of which, I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
All your friends group, everyone you're affiliated with is just doing dope shit. It's sick.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely inspiring, like to just see everybody pursuing, what they want to be doing and being successful at it. And yeah, it hypes me up.
Yeah, there's nothing better than seeing your homies just like crush it, or even like even your affiliates. You know what I mean? If you go to like all like your side Tommy and all those dudes, like everybody, that whole group. I remember watching all you guys in like high cascade edits and stuff like that, and to watch all of those kids that were crushing it like so long ago still crush it. Even like Fronius the other day was posting some clips of him riding. I was like, holy shit, this kid is still so good.
Mm,
Like
for real.
insane. Yeah, that
Definitely.
talent does not disappear. Uh, okay, so a big question that everybody here is wondering: Evergreen, you opened it. Were you happy with your footage?
Yeah,
What a
for sure.
phenomenal season, man! Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was really excited for that movie. I mean, Landline, obviously their last big project, and then, I mean, Tanner's way of like giving you opener. That movie flowed really well, and I mean to have opener in that must have been something pretty special, I'm sure.
Definitely, yeah. I was so psyched to like be able to go over the footage with Tanner and just like at a certain point, yeah, he was just telling me like it's gonna be opener, and I was definitely just like so hyped and
No way.
grateful for that. Like I think it's, I don't know. I'm just, yeah, I'm grateful for it. It's insane.
What's your favorite clip you filmed for that movie,
um,
or most proud of?
Most proud of clip. I don't know, probably the like just the opening clip, like the rail transfer to front board. It's just all came together really nicely with the spot, and um it was like right at our hotel.
Oh, there you
So
go. The
worked
hotel
out really
spot.
sick.
That's
Yeah.
sick.
And yeah, just happy with the way Tanner filmed it and kind of used it as a way to start the movie. And yeah, it's super sick.
I would I disagree. My favorite trick of you is is the front 270 front blunt popping.
Oh
Favorite.
yeah,
That's one of my favorite. That's like one of my
yeah,
favorite clips in the movie, dude.
that was probably like my
That
favorite
was
feeling. Like,
holy
yeah,
shit. I mean that's from skateboarding right there. You just don't have
for
that.
sure.
If you don't skate, you don't have that eye to like when to pop into the transition. It's like, wow, dude, um that was something special. That movie was filled with gems. I watched it again before we jumped on this call. And it's crazy when you watch a video like 3 or 4 times, a lot of the sneaky things that you overlook, but then you watch it again and you're
Yeah.
like, actually, that's like one of my favorite clips.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, I like kind of have like had a hard time just thinking of the clips in the video, but I do really like that opening clip. I also like the clip where Cole throws me my board up to like that awning.
Yeah.
Um, just because like we saw it from so far away, and we were like, oh, that like looks like you could ride down it, and then it ended up working out. I feel like it didn't translate too much of like, it was a really hard thing to film, I think. Um, but either way, it was just a fun spot,
Dude. Yeah.
unique spot.
What an amazing film to be a part of. I mean, you got to get pretty excited when, a brand like Vans is like, we're making a movie, there's budget behind it. Kevin Casillo, who's like a big dog, is going to back the movie. And then you have Tanner and Harry. It's just like you have everything you need to make an amazing movie every time Vans makes a project, which is something phenomenal because lots of riders just don't have that and at like a younger level, you know what I mean? So, I mean, to be able to be a part of that is something so sick.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely like a huge opportunity. At least, I view it as just like a really good opportunity that doesn't come around often. So, yeah, super psyched to be a part of it, and super psyched that Vans is down to like pour like as much funding into snowboarding and making their videos look a certain way, or like kind of just hiring the people that
Oh,
they do. They
yeah.
always make sure that they have like the best people on it. So it's, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, the attention to detail that Vans does in all their projects is it doesn't go overlooked to all the people who like actually watch stuff and care about that detail. Because I mean, like whether it's shooting the whole thing like with 16 and film and getting all that processed and stuff like that, like that
Yeah.
is not cheap. And they're just like, we want it to look a certain way, or even Ollie G, dude, like their
Yeah,
photographer.
I was just gonna say it's cool, just like across the board, everybody has a real appreciation for like creating a unique and a cool aesthetic. And I feel like that's really essential, like to have that across the board. Like you were just saying, Ollie like loves shooting film and like just is one of the best photographers to do it. And
Oh, he's one of the best. He's so sick.
Harry's one of the best filmers. He likes to film 16.
Yeah, shout outs Harry and
Tanner,
Tanner.
shoots 16. He is like the best editor or like one of the best. And just like Jake Price is just like insane with the 16, like 16 God. So I don't know. It's a crazy team, but
What a perfect transition here. Jake Price, absolutely legendary filmmaker. I mean, most people know of you as a, park guy who's winning, a bunch of events, as a coach, as a street guy. But you went to Alaska with Jamie Lynn and Jake Price.
yeah.
What was that like? How did that even come? How did that come to be?
Um, just basically got a phone call from Jake Price, like in April, and asked me if I would be interested in going to Alaska because everybody else he called was preoccupied or not available to go. So he told me to not get my hopes up and like that there was just like potentially this opportunity. And I told him I was down. And then he called me back like a couple hours later and he was like, yeah, so like there's just like we have a seat in the heli and like yeah, you're welcome to come. And so the original plan, just because I had a couple other trips I was going to do that spring, was to go up for it's kind of a ridiculous plan thinking back, was to go up and literally like ride for one day and then go to like I think a K2, I'll go on a K2 trip for like Jake's board. And and then like we rode one day and the snow wasn't very good, so I ended up staying for like 3 weeks or so, 3.5 weeks.
3.5 weeks in Alaska with Jake Price and Jamie Lynn.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Well, let's dive into that, man. Well, okay, you get you
I don't know.
Jake Price calls you and he's like, "Yo, let's go to Alaska with Jamie Lynn." What were your first thoughts? Like, what ran through your head?
Yeah, I don't know. Just I like basically was like, this is the most
I'm
insane.
down.
I was like, this is the most insane phone call I've ever got. I have to say yes. Like, probably will never get this phone call again for all I know. Like, I don't know. Sounds insane. Like, I was definitely really nervous and unsure of what I was getting myself into. But I don't know. I've hung out with Jake a good amount, so I trusted him, um, and yeah, I don't know. He was like, "Yeah, you should come," and so I was like, "Dude, I'm down. Like, what's the deal? Like, where do I need to get a flight to, and all that jazz?" And then I just hit up Harry, and Harry booked me a flight, and next thing I knew, I was in Anchorage, and Jake and Jamie picked me up in like one of those America RVs or whatever. What are
Yeah.
Cru-
Travel
cruise
America,
yeah,
Cruise America.
Cruise
Yeah.
America RVs. And they were just like, yeah, like this is gonna be our home for the next like 3 weeks or so, or for the next little bit. And we drove from Anchorage to Valdez and loaded up on supplies and then drove up to Thompson Pass in the Chugach mountain range and parked in the Alaska Snowboard Guides parking lot and just posted up for a couple weeks.
Did you guys have was Jake going to be the filmer? Was there like a real intention to go there and like film snowboarding the whole time, or were you just going more for the experience?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I planned to just go for like a day. So it was, I guess it was almost like an experience thing at first in my mind. Like I didn't have much expectations on scoring good snow or like filming that much. But after we rode that first day and the snow wasn't good, and I learned that Jake and Jamie intended on staying until the snow was good, and they were more than welcome to have me and had a spot for me in the helicopter. um, I I felt like I was obligated to experience better snow. And
Yeah.
yeah, ride some better snow in Alaska and just like buckle down and wait for it to snow.
So how many days did you end up scoring then?
um I think we probably rode like, I want to say like probably a week and a half in total or so, like 9 or 10 days or so.
Dang.
um but yeah, there's definitely a lot of like logistics that go into all of it. It's a crazy process that I knew nothing about, and still definitely don't know that much about, but I was just learning as I went and kind of just following Jake or Jamie, and yeah, it was,
Is that type of riding like intriguing to you? Do you want to do more of it? Like after that whole, trip where you're like, I want to go to Alaska more, or you're like, this kind of isn't my thing, but I'm glad I went to Alaska with Jake Price and Jamie Lynn.
I'm down to go back for sure.
Sick.
Yeah, I was definitely really interested in it. And yeah, it seemed like a really good way to get introduced to it. um Jamie definitely rode some crazy shit that I didn't ride, but I also just like would follow his track a lot, and yeah, I don't know, definitely scared the shit out of myself, but it felt good, and yeah, I'd be sick to go back.
What was it like getting dropped off at the top of a mountain in Alaska when you're normally riding Loon Park with Mike Rav and Cole Navin?
um I don't know,
Uh,
it made my legs shake. I think I got dropped off by myself once, and yeah, I don't know, I was terrified for sure. But I just told myself to like make two turns, and then because you usually, like most of the runs we did, you like couldn't see from where you were dropping your whole line, so it's just like make the first two turns and then like figure the rest out from there. um and obviously you're kind of referring to like the memory or the photo that you took of the line from the helicopter, and yeah, trying to just like stick to your line that you chose.
what was the biggest takeaway from that, like riding that type of stuff for you?
uh I don't know, it was definitely just kind of like a slap in the face, I guess, a little bit of just like like how uh I don't know how real like those mountains are, how big they are, and how consequential they can be, but how much fun you can have. And I don't know, it's just like it was a really unique snowboarding experience, that opened my eyes to, yeah, what was kind of possible on your snowboard, I guess. I never thought that I would end up getting out of a helicopter to snowboard, or getting a ride in a helicopter to snowboard. So
Were there
definitely blew my
anything
mind.
spooky or anything like that? Or is it like pretty stable? Like, you
Yeah,
manage your stuff pretty good and
yeah, there was definitely some slough scenarios. That's like a something I definitely don't have that much experience with. Like I've ridden some lines in Utah, but seeing some slough and riding through some slough was really good to experience. I didn't have like like slough never took me out. There was never like that much slough, but it was cool to see just like how much snow can get moving
yeah,
without there
exactly.
being an avalanche. Um, and then we had one run at like the end of one of our days, and it was one of the only runs I went first on, and I went first, and kind of I would like go out of everybody's vision after I made this turn on kind of a banked panel, and it was a backside turn for me, and I just like really leaned into it and like trenched it. And once I pulled away from the turn, it just like all spidered underneath me and like just like started sliding. And luckily I was like had a lot of speed, and I don't think it broke that deep, and so I just like was able to pull out and like wait for it to flush down under like a cliff band. But yeah, that was definitely like spooky to feel that. But I don't
Dude.
think I don't know, it was like could have been, yeah, it could have been bad, but it wasn't. And I don't know. And then they like radio down to me like, oh, are you good? Like, because they couldn't see me. I'm like under some rocks or like a cliff. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like my heart was pounding. I don't think I responded for like a second. I couldn't even catch my breath. But ended up just like making my way to the bottom to like the left of the slide path. And then like scariest part is they like radioed back. They're like, all right, so where should we go? Like, fuck,
I don't know.
I don't know where to send you. Like that just ripped pretty good. And Jamie like wrote a line, you know, he got some like really good snow above where the shit slid, and then like maybe even like dropped a little cliff. And I like it was right to where I was like, yeah, that's all just like slid. And he just like rode some kind of chundery face, and I like kind of like fumbled it a little bit, and I don't know. Everybody got down safely. Jake Price got like carried down in a little avalanche, but he was fine. But it was just like this weird like last run of the day. I think we like switched aspect a little bit, and yeah, definitely eye opening.
Oh, dude, I can only imagine. I've never even been. I mean, I have been to Alaska, but not like real Alaska. I've been to like sledding, snowmobiling Alaska, but like getting dropped off on a line by a helicopter and then being first to go. Oof, and then with Jamie and Jake Price behind me, my heart would, and then it pops a little bit and you see the spiders under your board.
Yeah, that was crazy to like see that, but you know, it was really easy for me to get out of it. I didn't start getting pulled or anything, so it was definitely like a very minimal like danger, or like I didn't have I wasn't that worried. Like
yeah, exactly.
you know, once I realized what was happening, I was able to get out of the situation really quickly. So
your animal instincts kicked in and you saved yourself.
Yeah, somehow.
What was it like the downtime? You know, you're in like there's a lot of like cloud days, weather days. What would you guys be doing to pass the time, you, Jake, and Jamie? You guys playing cards? You guys just getting baked and walking around in the woods?
We're just like smoking a bunch of weed and hanging out around the like food cart. They had a little fire pit, and I don't know, watching Jamie do art. Shot some guns. Jamie was like always working on he was sleeping outside the whole time. He didn't sleep in the RV once. So he was always like working on his like little dugout where he like set up his hammock between some trees and dug out like probably like 4 or 5 feet into the snowpack, like probably like 100 feet away from the RV. And he was like, it just slowly like evolved into like a little like make piece shelter with like a couple like pieces of plywood over it, like as walls, and like a tarp, and it was pretty sick. He like got a jet boil in there and was like he was like heating up food in there. Like he would like just like come into the RV and grab some like cereal and some milk, and then just like bring like the whole box of cereal and the whole like gallon of milk over to like his dugout, and like it would just live there.
So I'm imagining you didn't know Jamie that well before this trip. You know, Jamie Lynn obviously being one of the biggest legends in snowboarding, period. Did he meet your expectation? Was it a fun trip with him overall?
Yeah, I've met him a couple times. Hard to say if he like knew who I was before this trip. I'm sure Jake was like, yeah, I think this kid Parker's gonna come, and he was like who's that? But but it was really cool. Yeah, I've definitely just like said what's up to him a few times through like some Volcom trips and whatnot. But getting to hang out with him and get to know him a little bit was really sweet. And he's a funny fucking guy, and yeah, he's always cracking jokes. And like once he gets to know you, I guess like he talks a little bit more than I thought he would. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, totally, man. I mean, to me, he's just like he is the definition of like a. I don't really get like the celebrity, the starstruck very easily in snowboarding. You know, in fact, from nobody. But when I see Jamie Lynn, I'm like, whoa, I feel it a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
like that
for
guy's.
sure.
He's got an aura around him that he's not trying to do, but it's just really captivating. I'm like, that person is an interesting person
Yeah, it
that
was really
is.
yeah, it was cool to see him just in his like I don't know, just hanging out and like making art and like selling art. I feel like he made like 100 pieces of art on our trip and probably like sold like I don't know, half of them or most of them. Like, and just yeah, the way he goes about everything. I think like one of our first interactions, like once we got up to the parking lot, he's like, "Do you have a screwdriver?" I was like, "Yeah, for sure." And he like takes my screwdriver and I'm just watching him, and he like has a torch, and he's got this like really old LibTech board that he's trying to ride, and it's got different inserts, and so he needs to make like new holes in his base plate. And so he's like heating up the screwdriver with the torch, and then he's stabbing the plastic base plate with the hot screwdriver. So he's like melting holes, like new holes for the inserts in the old board. And like by the time he was done, like my screwdriver was just like completely like fucked because it had just been like heated it up to like probably hot enough. I don't know to fuck it out. It was like all just like mangled. He's like, "Sorry, dude, I owe you a screwdriver or something." I was like, "Yeah, no worries." Like, whatever.
Did he ever give you another screwdriver?
No, I didn't expect him to, but
We gotta hit him up. Yo, Jamie, you owe me a screwdriver, bro.
it was just so funny. Just like, I don't know, just him doing him, like figuring it out, whatever it takes, I guess.
That's amazing. Would you go back on a trip with Jake and Jamie to Alaska?
When?
No, would you?
Oh, would I?
Yeah.
Yeah, when? Yeah, definitely.
Who do you feel like that's a small crew, just the three of you guys? I feel like next time you got to bring one more person. Who are you going to bring to Alaska with you? Who would jive there well? You know, you can't just go. To me, I've talked to a lot of friends who've gone to Alaska and camping, and you know, it's just you're out in nature and things can get a little weird from time to time up there. You know, you can't just be expecting to go into the Westin to go take your shower every night. You know what I mean? It's you're out there in the middle of nowhere, so you got to be you got to have a certain mental game going into going to Alaska for 3.5 weeks. I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you just have to be ready for the down days, and I don't know, if you're with good company, it's not an issue, I don't think. I don't know. Definitely had a lot of fun just like hanging out as well and meeting everybody who was up there. And yeah, it's like definitely one of if not the most scenic places I've ever been. But yeah, it's definitely you're not like really showering, and you're living in an RV, so it's really tight quarters. And I don't know.
Okay, here's a good question. So you got Alaska or you got Loon Mountain, perfect conditions at either. Where would you go? Where would you rather be spending your time?
Alaska for sure.
All right.
I think, well, like just because it's like one of those experiences that like if you have the opportunity to go and experience it, you should take it.
I like that.
And yeah, I don't know. That's just the way I live my life, I guess. It's just like
Do you think
trying
your
to find.
snowboarding is going to go that way a bit more? Do you feel like there's going to be, are you going to try and like, you know, turn into a little bit more of like a backcountry line rider, or are you just, you know, if the opportunity presents itself, you'll go there, but it's not what you're dying to do?
I think I really enjoy riding the mountains and like learning about it more. And I can like more so see myself riding a line when I'm 60 rather than like hitting a kink rail in the streets. So it's something that like I'm just interested in, and I probably will be for the rest of my life. But I still really like hitting street stuff, and like that's just like a whole nother aspect of snowboarding that's really fun, and it's, yeah, I like doing it all.
What about the snowmobiling aspect? Do you feel like you're gonna ever get the truck and sled and snowmobile and
I don't
tackle
know.
that side, or is that
I
not?
don't know. It sounds a little like intimidating, I guess, with like in terms of like investment and stuff. It's just like a lot of money, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just got like a dirt bike recently, and I don't know. I could see myself possibly owning a snowmobile, but I don't really have any sort of goal to buy one at this point.
Yeah, no. I mean, they're an expensive, a depreciating money pit that is
Right.
just, yeah. And the
Yeah.
learning curve with them, if you're not with a really fun group, is not a good time. You got to be with like your
Yeah.
homies when you're learning how to snowmobile. Because if you're going out with like a production company and you're trying to learn how to snowmobile and they have like an expectation that you're going to get shots that day if you don't know how to snowmobile, it's just
Yeah.
like, I heard this one story that, who are they filming with? Osh. And he couldn't get around, Mike Oshida. He couldn't get around on a snowmobile. So they were like, okay, you go back to the parking lot and we're going to keep going. Because
Yeah.
he just couldn't get around. And it's like, it's a fully blue, stable day. They're like, okay, well, we're going to still take advantage of this day. I'm like, damn.
I'm a little bit more or a lot more interested in like personally in like split boarding and becoming more experienced on my split board, but I'm not against snowmobiling. But I just don't see myself buying one like next year. Or, I don't know.
Ever. You're going to
Yeah.
split, dude. That's sick. Tell
Yeah,
me.
I think
So
I think split boarding's sick. I love it. I love going for walks in the woods.
what's your favorite thing about split boarding? The snowboarding down part or?
uh I don't know. It's the whole experience. I think it's like it's so nice to like this probably sounds crazy, but like go on a street trip and then come back and like not have anything to do and be able to go split boarding for a couple days, or like getting to spend a whole day in the woods, like mostly by yourself, or like not by yourself but with like a few other people, and maybe see some other people, but mostly just be like isolated in the woods is uh I don't know, it's like a nice reset, and you get to snowboard and like be outside. So
Yeah,
it's
there's
just like,
something about being out there in the wilderness when it's that quiet and stuff like that.
yeah.
Nice, especially if it's a nice day.
Oh
Doing
yeah.
it. Yeah.
And if the snow's good, but like, yeah, it's just one of those things that I enjoy as an activity. So
So what's your split setup? Are you downsizing or upsizing, or do you ride the exact same size of board that you would regularly ride in the power? Or do you upsize it, or I haven't been into the split
same
world, so I'm looking for tips.
same size, bro. Same size. Just a 159.
Do you not feel like
Just got the new freeloader.
ooh, K2?
Freeloader. It's insane.
And
So,
does it feel like it has a flex pattern to it? Because I mean, my issue with
yeah,
trying
for
split
sure.
boards way back where they just felt like a 2x4.
Yeah, I don't know. It definitely has like a more torsional flex than a board that's all one. But I don't think it's, if you're riding good snow, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I was even riding my split board on the resort the other day and having a blast.
No way. On resort split board. That's sick.
Yeah, yeah. Cause it was like my second day back with my hip, and I figured it would help me stay on the ground kind of, I guess.
Dude,
But it's also a new split board, and I just want to try riding it, and I actually had so much fun on it, and it didn't even really feel like a split board. I don't know. It was crazy.
no way. And what kind of boots are you wearing with that? Do you get the stiffest boots ever for splitting, or are you going like the linerless?
No, I rock with the Verses.
Oh, nice.
I guess that's like the stiffest boot Vans makes.
Are you a stiff boot through and through guy? Like if you're going to the streets, do you do a stiff boot?
Yeah, I just ride the Verse like all year.
Nice.
Yeah, I like the support.
Is your favorite thing, you're going out there and you're splitting, you're out there, it's quiet, it's peaceful, it's beautiful. Is that why you also like surfing? Do you go out there to like do the same thing?
Yeah,
Do you compare the two the same? You know what I
I
mean?
think there's like a correlation of just like um the environment that you get to with like both boards. I get like I don't know. It's not as comparable with skateboarding, but yeah, split boarding and surfing is kind of similar. You get to like just be fully submerged in the outdoors, and like you're completely away from any sort of like human infrastructure, which is nice, you know.
Yeah, no, which is amazing. I mean, I just moved to the island with my girlfriend. Definitely gonna get more into surfing. I've been surfing quite a bit. What size of board are you riding these days? What does it look like on a surfboard for you? You know, if you had one board that you would bring around with you, you're on a little trip, you only get to bring one size, what would you go with?
I don't know. That's a really hard question.
I'm looking for all-terrain vehicle, you know what I mean? Because I know that everybody has an arsenal of surfboards and they have like this quiver. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna buy a quiver. I'm just gonna buy one, So I'm just trying to see what's the one does it all.
I don't know. I feel like my views on surfboards have has been evolving. So
Nice.
I like used to always just like ride shortboards and stuff growing up, and then like it would always suck in the summer, and you'd always get really frustrated. So I recently started riding like an 8 foot single fin board. That's really fun.
I'm a
Um,
longboard guy.
it's kind of like a
Personally,
mid length. All right, so for you, I would suggest the 8 foot. A lot of
there you
people
go.
don't like mid lengths, but it's it's a nice in between
I like it.
a shortboard and a longboard, obviously.
Hence the mid. Hence the
Yeah.
mid.
No, it's just I don't know. It's fun. It's loose, and you can kind of like cross step up and down it, and I don't know. I have a lot of fun on it, and like my shoulders are kind of junk, so it is way easier on the shoulders. But you know, if the waves are like any good, I would probably just be riding a shortboard.
I mean, I love watching people shred on a shorter board, but when I watch have you seen the movie Riding Giants?
I don't know.
Stacy Peralta made it. It's sickest movie. You should watch it. But anyways, there's a bunch of like OG dudes, and they all have like long boards, and they're flowing the wave, and I'm like, ooh, that's what I'm captivated with surfing. It's just like
Yeah.
big, smooth, long, chilling style. Like I'm not out there trying to be all aggressive and getting barreled and fly. Like I've
Yeah.
tried that and I've almost died a million times, and I get hurt just as much as I get hurt more surfing sometimes than snowboarding. Like not actually injured, but I just eat shit. Like
Yeah.
flipping the barrel and then my surfboard hits me in the head, and I'm like, I'm out here trying to relax. I'm out here trying to split board.
Yeah, exactly. I think yeah. No, I'm on the same page. I think after I had shoulder surgery is where it all started of just like trying to because my shoulder would kind of bother me after shoulder surgery, surfing and snowboarding and shit, but just trying to find ways to do what I love to do without aggravating my injuries. So I don't know, riding a bigger board on snow or on the waters, just like
More float.
yeah, more surface area.
Foiling. What do you think of foiling? I mean, they're obviously popping up everywhere. Are you like, I want to know, what's your thoughts? You're a surfer. You grew up, near the surf. What's
Not
your vibes?
not interested in it.
Yes, me neither. Delete.
Yeah, not way too extra.
Yeah, it just seems so annoying to me.
It's basically, I mean, like, I don't know.
I mean,
feel
I
like
don't know how
people-
to
I
do
feel
it.
like people like geek out on it, like that, like all the like the I don't even know how they work. Like, I don't know, all the engineering behind it or something. Like, I don't even know how the fuck they work, but I don't know. I'm not interested in riding them, I guess, but maybe someday I will be. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I went to Hawaii with my friend Rasman, who's obsessed with them for some reason, and we just make so much fun of him for it, which is he openly knows that we all make fun of him for
Yeah.
foiling, and he's just literally he's doing laps around everybody on this foil board, like pumps around, catches the wave, pumps around, catches the wave. All I see is somebody doing 1,000 squats in circles. And I'm like, that does not look like fun. Like I want to like,
Yeah,
I
it
want
almost
to catch a
looks like
wave and just,
looks like a workout. Like
it's a massive workout.
to me, it's basically like paddleboarding. I don't know. It just doesn't seem necessary.
I totally agree. And so one other thing I want to touch base on with this podcast is I know that you do a lot of like, you're doing extra stuff besides snowboarding and skateboarding and stuff. Tom and Jake both told me you've done some fishing in your day.
Yeah. Not.
That's a different world.
Yeah, definitely. Not too much, but I worked on a lobster boat for a handful of months, one like summer and fall, and yeah, I don't know, it's definitely an interesting experience. And then I have a buddy who owns an oyster farm, and so I help him out on that. But that's not really on the ocean, but.
Well, because I had J Rob on the podcast and he was doing some fishing, and I asked him if he had breakfast, and he said, "Breakfast, bro? You don't have time to eat when you're on the boat, man." You made it made it seem pretty crazy. So I was wondering what your experience was like, fishing out there, because I know that it's like, that's not like you're not taking the easiest job if you're going out crab fishing. Like that's a real
I don't know.
job.
I think I just like heard that it was like pretty decent money and kind of thought it sounded like a cool experience. And so I started asking around, like on the seacoast, like anybody I knew that kind of did any sort of fishing, like who I could talk to about like getting a deckhand job. And eventually just got connected with this guy who was just a year older than I was, and he owned a boat. And he was just like a workhorse, dude. Like worked so hard, like would go lobstering by himself all the time, which is like psycho. Like
Sounds dangerous.
Driving a boat while hauling traps is like, pretty dangerous, I would say. But yeah, definitely getting exposed to like that mentality and stuff, like just like fishermen in general. It's just like so funny, like the way he'd talk about other fishermen and their banter over the radios. And I don't know, it was pretty fun for sure. It was pretty fun. It was really hard work. It was also just like kind of disheartening because the dude like did not care about like throwing trash in the ocean.
Damn.
Like when I first started going, he would throw a full trash bag overboard. And I think I saw him do that once and was like, dude, you can't do that. Like he would like eat a snack and literally just like toss the trash over the like out of the window. And I was like, dude, like when I had a second, I would like kind of walk around the boat, like clean it up and just put all the trash in the trash bag. And I like seriously had to like pick his brain, like, dude, like you can't like be disrespecting the environment that you're trying to make money off of by like, you're fishing this environment. You basically want the lobsters to like be thriving.
Yeah, you're not
or like
helping them
whatever
thrive.
you want the whole ecosystem to be like thriving. So you really should not be littering because it's in your best interest not to throw your trash in the ocean. And like I don't know, it seemed like he stopped doing it. I don't know if it was because like I was there or like if he still throws trash in the ocean, who knows. But I only did it for like a season, and it was very.
You only threw trash in the ocean for one season? No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. You're like, that would stress me out because if
real,
someone's my superior, they're the boss or whatever, like having that that confrontation. I hate weird confrontation. You're
dude,
like,
me too, 100%.
What do I do?
I honestly think I ran it by one of my friends first or something, or like even my dad, maybe like just like, yeah, like this guy throws trash off the boat, like. Should I say like this guy's fucking crazy, like he's just throwing trash off the boat, like
yeah, day one you
like is he gonna fire is he gonna fire me if I'm like, dude, that you're an idiot, like
well that and
obviously.
It's like you know, day one, you see him and he's just drinking a Coke and then he throws his Coca-Cola can over and you're like, did that just slip? That must have slipped. And then day two, you see him like with a, you know, done his Wendy's or whatever, tossing. You're like, he's literally throwing shit overboard. Like, what a psychopath.
Yeah. No, I mean, fuck. I don't know. It's all
Yeah.
it's all perspective. I wouldn't say that he was intentionally trying to like harm the environment. I would hope, you know.
No, I think a lot of people like that. It's literally
They just don't know.
they just
Like you
don't
just
know.
don't know. Yeah, you get.
Yeah.
And like you think about it, you know, and like you know, before littering was like a big no-no and like there was a fine for it. Like it was total commonplace to like throw all your trash out the window while you were driving.
Yeah, totally.
Like not even that long ago. I feel like
no, like in the
probably, like,
80s.
not
and
even
in, like in 90s.
probably in
I
the
feel
90s.
like.
In the 90s, it was probably like 80% of people like buying McDonald's were probably just throwing their shit out the window.
Yeah, and then like the city would clean up the streets that they wanted to clean up, and if not, they would just, you know.
Like that's a completely made up statistic, but like I know that it was commonplace.
Yeah, no, I know it was commonplace too because I lived with people who did it all the time.
Yeah. No, like even in high school, I feel like we used to like litter just like thinking it was fucking funny or something, you know? It's like just being young and like ignorant and like I don't know, it's funny.
It's crazy thinking about it now. You're like, wow, that's insane that people like my girlfriend and I were on vacation. We went to Bali, like everybody who's in their mid-20s trying to like figure out life.
Somebody recently called it Disneyland for adults.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. I mean, I had a lot of older friends go there many moons ago when it was probably just like, you know, not an oasis for young white people to go there and like party. But anyways, we ended up going there, and on like any given weekend, there are loaders, front end loaders, pushing garbage into the ocean because their government just doesn't care. And there's well, what do we do with this garbage? The government doesn't have recycling. They have nowhere. And it's so sad. And all the people who have houses there, they burn their garbage. They light it on fire.
Yeah.
And so we're driving through these small villages and it reeks like burning garbage. And you look to the left and a front end loader's pushing all the garbage into the ocean. And you're like, I don't know. I just felt like when I was going home, I felt like I was a part of the problem by supporting that place, which was already getting kind of like pillaged and raped because of people like myself who go to Walmart, and Walmart comes there to the third world country and goes, we're buying this village. You guys all have to leave. And we're going to turn this into palm oil and we're going to make Lay's potatoes chips here. And then I'm just like, I'm supporting this like vicious circle of shittiness. For sure, I don't know. It felt weird coming home. I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, dude. Like,
I don't know.
Humans are crazy.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny to think about the like stereotypical vacation to like a nice resort or something that's actually just like the fakest place possible, and it does not resemble the local geography whatsoever.
Yeah,
and like shit like that. Like I went to one of those when I was younger, but you know, it's I don't know. Yeah, traveling can be like that for sure.
Yeah, you got to be careful with what you support. But all right, dude. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Hell yeah! Thanks for having me.
I say this to all my guests, but I typically try to reach out and do people that I'm a big fan of, and I mean, I'm a huge fan. I love every clip you put out. I'm always excited to see what you're going to do. I also love that you don't do anything I think you're going to do. When you went to Alaska, I was like, I don't know what this kid's going to do next, but I fucking love it. And I can't wait to see. And I feel like you're just blossoming into some amazing years ahead of you. And we're all excited that Vans is fully behind you. And we're excited to see what the chapters ahead lie for Parker, because they're going to be phenomenal.
Hell yeah, Jody. Thank you, man. Appreciate the support.
Hell yeah, dude. So we got a few questions for you. End of the sesh. So, all right, 4 questions. Number 1, what's your favorite snowboard video of all time?
Damn, dude. That's a tough one. but like most influential or like recently, like
Maybe
because I
one of
feel like
each. You could toss one that's maybe a little newer, and maybe one that's a little older.
um I really like Fall Line Films Roadkill.
What?
That movie is
Jake
like,
Price show you that?
no, I think like Mike probably showed it to me. Mike Rev and I used to watch that one a bunch, and I still watch it a lot. It's just like a sick resort snowboard video that's like, I don't know, it's just cool to like see the roots of where like freestyle snowboarding originated.
And
Kind of.
who has a part in that one? Because if I don't think I've seen that one. Maybe I have,
Dude,
but I
it's
mean
like
like
it's
Todd
like
Richards and
it's like no, it's like Brian Iguchi and John Cardiel and probably Terhe and like Mike Ranquit and
oh,
like
sick.
Jamie and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like a fucking crew of legends. And like, I don't know, it's just like they're like driving around in a Cadillac from like resort to resort, and it's got like just, I don't
The
know,
best vibes.
wild like old school like like metal music or something. Like yeah, it's just a sick vibe. um from
I'm watching that one right
Oh yeah,
after this.
you got to. It's super sick. But I don't know, growing up, a movie that left like a huge impact on me was Forums That.
Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And just in terms of like capturing like riders' personalities and like kind of like that idea of like creating a sick ass snowboard team or whatever, or being a part of like something that was more than just like a sponsorship or something. It was like being a part of a family or something.
Oh,
Like that just made it seem like all those guys were so tight, and like the snowboarding was so sick. And I think I really used to I still do think that Travis Kennedy's part in that was so sick. And the
he's the
song was
best.
Chameleonaire, like I'm True. I thought that was a sick song back in the day. And
Oh, me
uh
too.
yeah, I just thought he had sick style and like a really cool like comedic persona. And yeah, I don't
My
know.
friend Kareem was with Travis on that film trip with that and JP and him and Travis Kennedy. I think went to the strip club to the wee hours in the morning before their flight, and
Yeah.
Travis Kennedy got up in the morning and front boarded that kink, his ender. Like with no sleep at all,
That's so beast.
straight to the plane.
That's so sick. Yeah, he's a legend.
Yeah, dude, big Kennedy fan myself. That's super dope.
Um,
Question number 2: who's your favorite boarder right now?
Favorite snowboarder right now. Who is my favorite snowboarder right now? I don't know. I'm inspired by all my friends I get to ride with constantly. Like Blake Paul, Mike Boggs, Griffin Seaver.
Boggs.
Um, just like all the locals here in Utah. But I don't know. I'm constantly inspired by my friends, and Nate Carroll is probably one of my favorite snowboarders.
Sick. Me too.
For real. Like, yeah, he's so good. I'm always amazed when he like puts out shit, and I just like sometimes like, fuck, dude, you should snowboard more.
Yeah, dude, that guy is one of my favorites too. Whenever I see him in anything, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, for real.
He's got the steest clip. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think he's been filming in the streets a little bit this year, so I'm pretty psyched to see what
yeah,
he's
he's a do
gonna come
anything
out
guy
with.
for me.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I'm like, just film a clip and I'll be psyched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes. All right, number 3, one piece of life advice.
I don't know. What I I don't think I've ever given anybody life advice. I'm always looking for life advice. No, I don't know. Just like work hard and stay positive, and everything's gonna work out. Have good friends, make good friends, surround yourself with good people, and yeah, just find out what you want to do and work hard towards it.
Yeah, friends are a good one, man. Surround yourself with a good group of friends. If your friends suck, bail. Get some nice people that make you feel good about yourself. You only get to live this life once, so you might as well be, happy while you're doing it.
Yeah, for real.
And then and then if you're not, go split boarding or go surfing and give your time your mental space
Yeah.
a little bit of zen.
Yes, for real.
All right, the last one. What do you think you'll be doing in the future, or what would you like to be doing in the future?
I don't know, the near future, snowboarding more than I am right now, and just like filming parts and making new friends, traveling.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Thanks again for coming on. Hell yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime, my man.
All right, Jody.
All right, peace.